Mika, il faut que tu partages sur la présentation par contre. Parce que là, tu as encore ton écran. Tu as départagé là.
Là, j'ai départagé, donc là, je partage mon écran en entier, non?
Ouais, en entier.
Ok. Tac. Tac.
Alors attendez, ça devrait se mettre. Alors attendez, je vais envoyer un message pour être sûr qu'on est bon. Alors attendez, Laurette, elle me dit qu'elle n'arrive pas à accéder. Pourtant, nous, on a fait le test tout à l'heure. Attendez.
Can you try to join?
Oh là là, franchement, ce truc, c'est... On a fait le test il y a 10 minutes avec Kate.
Vas-y. Vas-y.
The event will start soon. Wait the host to start. Attendez.
Et ouais, pareil. Il faut pas que je vais essayer de me join sur
Attends,
YouTube.
attends. Non, reste là. Normalement, c'est bon. Ok. J'ai reçu la notification de rejoindre normalement, donc c'est bon.
You're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you.
Ok, je coupe mon micro.
Ok. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask for notes in the comments if you guys can hear us and see us. I am not clear. All right, so we'll give a minute for everybody to join, and we get started. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Wine and Web3 webinar, where we'll talk about how could leverage digital collectibles to build loyalty. And stick to the end. Well, I might have a present for you, a surprise in the form of a proof of attendance token. So I want to introduce our amazing speakers and also introduce myself. So I'm Michael. I'm lead the US at Ariani, and delighted to be here with Pierre Adrien and Camilo. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everyone. My name is Pierre Adrien. I'm based in Barcelona. I've been in the wine business for a bit more than 15 years, and I'm a Web3 digital collectible enthusiast and convinced. It's nice to be with you tonight.
Hi, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here, and thanks for joining this webinar. I'm Camilo Gomez, and I'm based in Bordeaux. I'm an head of digital marketing at Chateau Pape Clément from Bernard Magret Group. I'm very excited to be here to talk about wine industry challenges, Web3, and also the Chateau Pape Clément project we have built with Ariane.
Thank you guys for being here. Such an honor and a pleasure to talk with you guys. What we'll cover today. So first, we'll talk about some of the challenges that the wine industry is facing. Then we'll dig deeper into what's loyalty for wine and how to build your loyalty program with digital collectibles. We'll then present two simple use cases that could be implemented right away, and hear a little bit more about the NFT club that Chateau Pape Clément launched, and then we'll have a Q&A session. It should be about half an hour. We'll try to make it quick and sweet. And maybe I want to start with a question for you guys. Is there anything hot, any news in the wine industry that is worth sharing before we start?
Yeah, maybe we can start with actually the premier campaign in Bordeaux that is just starting, and it looks quite promising. It's the 2022 vintage generally is generally viewed as exceptional. So we'll see, Michael, if that will echo actually the Hospice de Beaune sales back in November 2022, where which posted a record value last year.
So does it mean that we crossed off the challenges where everything is rosy?
Not exactly. What the fine wine business is showing resilience, that's for sure, and it's getting, it's better in general than the global wine industry. But it has its challenges, and actually, there was a recent report from IWSR showing that yes, the fine wine consumption is really stable and solid, but consumers tend to actually cut their consumption to be able to keep purchasing high-end wines, and actually they are eager to buy more on promotions. So what it does is that this usually increases, in general, the marketing costs for the wineries, and the cost of getting into business, while actually the energy costs as well are soaring. So let's put it that way, you have kind of a scissor effect where actually margins are being reduced for most wineries.
So that's the key impact for the producers?
Yeah, that's really a key impact, and there is in general a challenge to be able to address the end consumer, not only maybe for the wineries, but that's actually a common challenge for the entire industry. So while actually the marketing costs are rising, there is actually a need as well to reconnect with the consumer in general.
And maybe that's a good segue actually into some of the broader challenges regarding customer relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, if we have to summarize a few key challenges that wineries are facing today, maybe the first one would be, who are the consumers? That's a very basic question, but because our industry is so fragmented, it's very hard for a winery to know who their end consumers are. You have a lot of intermediaries. It's a moving industry. So based on what is their profile and their purchasing habits, it's really a challenge, but it's as well an opportunity for the wineries who manage to do so. So once you know your consumers, of course, you want to reward them for their loyalty. And here that's very interesting because, once we can tackle actually this increase in marketing costs, the cost of being in the market, then actually, you can do many new things to actually reconnect with the end consumer. Another challenge, which is related to the previous ones, is how can I have my product as a winery standing out of the shelf? You're on there are so many wines available
Sure.
that you really want to add value to your proposal.
Yeah, for sure. So is it fair to summarize the challenges for the producers in terms of like, I need to know my audience at large, and then find a way to get them to basically repeat their purchase, or attract them and then repeat their purchase. So it's a acquisition and then upsell program.
Exactly. Yeah. Once you know them, you can actually understand their purchasing pattern and what they actually need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about for consumers?
It's interesting, Michael, because you have a lot of the challenges that the consumers are facing are somewhat similar, or they echo actually the challenges of the producers. So you can almost connect the dots here, and think about very basic challenges. When consumers are asked what's their first obstacle, or what do they prevent them from getting more into the wine world, one of the first
Yeah.
reaction is, I don't really know about wine, and I don't know where to consume a bottle of wine. So you can think about wine aging. What's the best time to actually open a bottle of wine? And think about the temperature. What's the best temperature of serving? What's the bearing? That's actually a common question. And this is really basic information that the consumers are asking. And once actually they get to know about wine, is really how they can interact with the winemaker or with the community of aficionados of the same wine.
Yeah, sure. You want to share your passion in a way.
Exactly.
And that's where digital collectibles come into play.
Yeah, that's a big change, and a very exciting one. Maybe I'll summarize it because there are many key benefits, but I think to make it clear, I think we can talk about three key benefits for the consumer and for the wineries. The first one is putting ourselves in the shoes of the winery, is to really build trust with the consumers. That's number one. And what really digital collectibles Web3 can do is to actually provide a full traceability of the bottle from the winery to the end consumer. Think as well of the digital certificate of authenticity. You can be sure that the wine, especially fine wine that you have purchased, is really coming from what it says on the label. Counterfeit wines is a huge problem in the fine wine industry, and really Web3 can help tackling that, and it already does. Think as well about engaging marketing content. Wine is such an emotional product. You want, as wineries and distributors want to share as much as dynamic content about the winery. It could be like an interview of a winemaker in the vineyard, tasting notes, and so on. But you can't put everything on the back label. That's the limit. So think that with Web3, you can actually communicate with the holders of your bottle, the good practices in the vineyards, what you do. All the great stories behind the label. Maybe one quick mention for the EU producers. Soon they will have to put the ingredients and the list of nutritional information on their wine. With the digital product passport, which is enabled by Web3, then actually the wineries will be compliant with these new regulations.
So your digital collectibles becomes a bond between you and your bottle, and a way to get more information about it.
That's correct. Exactly.
And we mentioned you could use this bond also as a way to connect directly with the producers of the bottle. Is that
Exactly.
right?
Absolutely. The brand affiliation, as in any industry, is very important, but maybe let's say that in the wine industry, it's even more important, right? When you visit a winery, a chateau, or you feel connected to the brand. Uh,
For
we
sure.
could so you really want to create this interaction. So the second key benefit, once you have built trust and you provide transparent information about the wine, as a winery, what you want to do is to connect directly with the consumer that know who the patterns, purchasing patterns. And one great way to do so is to really interact with them and answer their needs and questions. So think, for example, that I hold a bottle of my favorite wine, and I'm not sure when to open it or what to have with it. I could actually directly interact through my digital bottle
Yeah.
with the brand. That's quite fascinating. I can receive actually as well communication about the grapes, the vintage, the appellation that I like, without actually giving my name, which is the beauty of Web3.
And this form of engagement will create repeat buyers, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be the third key benefit, Michael. So once you have built trust, you have connected directly with or reconnected with your consumer, then you can actually create repetition. Think about, let's call it maybe a CRM 3.0, where actually you can incentivize repeat. You can actually give exclusive rewards and offers and rewards that are really tailor-made for each kind of consumer. So you create actually your own digital loyalty program to virtually all your wine aficionados around the world.
And with that, could you touch on who would that benefit? Is it just the users? Well, just the consumers, just the wineries, the producers?
Actually, we there's a common thought, I think, or that digital collectibles and Web3 is really to cut intermediaries, but I really think that here the purpose is not to create a secondary market or to incentivize direct sales. We don't want to actually cut sales to anyone here. I think once you incentivize the end consumer and you enable the wineries to reconnect with the end consumers and provide extra service and create loyalty, then that benefits the whole chain. Think that I don't know, I'm a retailer or distributor. I'm actually very happy for the winery to provide this extra service to the end consumer. So here I think the main interest of Web3 and digital collectibles in the wine business is not really to create secondary market or to skip actually any distributor or importer. That's not the purpose. It's just the other way around. You actually spread value through the entire logistic chain.
Interesting. Give me a second. I'm getting a notification that someone is trying to join the webinar. I'm not sure if it's okay. Well, so you were saying at the end of the day, the idea is not to cut the middleman. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Someone is trying to join. I don't know how. I'll figure it out. The idea is not to cut the middleman, but to create a direct relationship and to create more knowledge about the product and more engagement with the consumers.
Yeah, actually, just to add up on that, Michael, if you actually, the way you can actually activate your brands in the market as a winery can be actually totally different, or actually Web3 is opening really new opportunities. If you want to partner with your distributor or retailer to create a contest and your loyalty program, or actually an early offer for your consumers, you can do so. So this is really, really powerful and opening up new business and marketing opportunities for everyone.
Can you touch on what the loyal? Because we talk about consumer engagement, we talk about loyalty. What does a program could look like?
So let's think about like a 3-tier loyalty program, and this could be an example. Say, for example, now you have you enable your consumers wherever they are to have a digital collectible of the wines of your winery. Now you can communicate with virtually all your consumers, or all the consumers who actually hold a bottle of your wine, wherever they are. So that's very exciting news. You could not do that before, and this really is opening new ways to connect with them. So of course you can't invite everyone to the winery. I mean, if you can, that's great. That means you have a very large winery, or we should all go together. But maybe you want to start with a first reward, which is virtual experiences. So say for whoever has purchased at least once one of your bottles, you want to give them an access to a virtual tasting, or maybe a masterclass, with your winemaker. So most wineries already do that, especially after they started to do that during COVID or after COVID. But think that actually a winery now can do that with virtually all the holders of their bottles globally. As well, your winery, you can give them exclusive content, so like videos or information that they can get on your regular website. And one very exciting feature for me is that as a wine lover, I want to connect with the rest of the community. So say that you're doing a virtual tasting with all your consumers, and after that you want these wine aficionados, the aficionados of your winery, to be able to continue the conversation, extend the tasting experience. Then actually you can do so if you have a digital platform. So that's first, the first tier. Then, for your more loyal consumers, you can think about the second tier of the loyalty program. And then, here you can mix virtual experiences with physical experiences. Say, for example, you're doing a wine dinner in New York or London, and you want to make sure that the consumers who are invited are consumers that really, purchase your wine, maybe let's say 4 or 5 times, to make sure you are addressing really loyal consumers. Then you can do so as a winery. You can do that to really make sure that your physical events attract your actual consumers. So that's quite exciting, and obviously you can do that in partnership with your distributor partner. Again, we don't skip anyone here. It's really about inclusive marketing content. One thing you can do as well, and again in partnership with your retail partners, is as well to give early access to the release of your high-end cuvée. That's really something that you can do. You manage actually access to your best cuvée. And think about the top of the pyramid, the tier 1.
Yeah.
Here, of course, these are the best customers you have, and you want to please them with what's best, right? You can't invite everyone, but you want maybe to invite at the winery your top 10, 15 best consumers in the world for a VIP experience in the vineyard. So you can do that by really.
So that's when you.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's when you can start to do things that are not scalable,
Exactly.
and really tailored to your top tier, basically.
Exactly, the most exclusive rewards. Think as well that if you have all vintages, rare formats that you want to really give access to your best consumers, you can do that handling this kind of program.
Well, I know we're running short on time, and I know you wanted to touch quickly on use case number 2, which is what do you do once you have your wine out there, your collectibles out there? How do you send a direct message? I'll let you touch on that.
Yeah, for example, today, winery can't really communicate with the end consumer based on what they actually purchased. So, but if tomorrow, for example, I'm a winemaker, I'm very proud of the 2018 vintage, and I tasted it with my team, say yesterday, and it tasted beautifully. It's ready to drink, and I want the entire world to know about that, of course. Then tomorrow, thanks to Web3, actually, this winery could communicate with whoever holds holds this vintage in the world, and actually, send a notification like, this vintage is ready to drink. Post a video of the winemaking team tasting the wine. You can notify them if actually you have a great score that's being released, from Parker, Wine Spectator, or whoever, and maybe have give them a special access, a special purchasing condition to your upcoming vintage, if that's possible in your market. But you can do that at the cuvee level as well, trying to upsell actually existing entry-level buyers, or inform the owners of the red that you're releasing a new white, for example. So really, sky is the limit with what you can do. But in a word, in a nutshell, you can really target your consumers and tailor your communication.
That's awesome. Yeah, just note here that it's an extra tool in your toolbox, in your marketing toolbox. It's not meant to replace your traditional marketing channels. It's just something else that you can use.
Exactly.
And with that said, I want to give an opportunity to Camilo to present the amazing use case and the Chateau Pape Clément NFT Club. Camilo, the floor is yours. Maybe you want to say a word about Chateau Pape Clément for those of us who do not know.
Sure. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Pierre-Adrien, for those insights. So yes, before talking about the concrete example of how we have used digital collectibles NFT on Chateau Pape Clément, let me introduce Chateau Pape Clément. So Chateau Pape Clément is one of the Grand Cru classés at Bordeaux from Bernard Magret Group, who has four Grand Cru classés. So the DNA of the group is always to try to be pioneer in innovation and have also a legendary know-how. So we have been always trying to launch innovative projects, and this is the one that we want to talk today.
All right. So where
Yeah.
where does this idea come from? How
Yes.
what's the genesis of the project?
Yeah, so let me talk about that. The first point was that we wanted really to, it was a special date, a special milestone to celebrate. The first harvest of Chateau Pape Clément was on 1252. So we were actually celebrating the 750th harvest of one of the most iconic wine of Bernard Magret. So the second point is that we wanted really to focus on that DNA of the Chateau and Bernard Magret Group to be a pioneer on innovation. So trying to launch something differentiating from our competitors, and also trying to tackle the fact that sometimes the wine industry is seen as not innovative enough. So we wanted really to use this milestone to launch something concrete about that.
Yeah.
One of the objectives was also to try to target some of new consumers, because today we are seeing a lot of consumers that want more to just a bottle of wine, more to just a transaction, and they want really to have to feel connected with the brand, to have like more than just a tasting, but have an experience, a connection with the winemaker, a connection with the chateau. And at Chateau Pape Clément, we have the chance to have a full ecosystem of experience for our customers. So we have also hospitality, we have also a lot of experiences for our clients, including tastings, trainings. We have a lot of events related to art, because we have also a museum in Bordeaux where we organize a lot of exhibitions on street art and contemporary art. So the idea was to really use the full of this ecosystem and to give to our consumers a direct link to our brand.
So now I'm curious to see if you want to give us some details about the NFT Club.
Yeah. So after exploring the different use cases that we were discussing before, we really tried to focus on this one, on creating a direct link with our consumers. So to creating a club. So using this new technology of Web3 NFT and digital collectibles to try to connect with our customers and to create really an NFT membership for them. So this NFT will give our members several benefits. So we have some virtual benefits, but also some also physical benefits. On the digital part, we have created a specific artwork that has been designed by an artist, especially for this project, representing the cuvée of Château Pape Clément. Then we have some benefits for our members, including some experiences, some visit and testing sessions at the chateau for 1 year. We have some free invitations for our art exhibition. We also have some upgrade on our chateau hotel and some special discount on our Pape Clément store. But we didn't want to just have something digital or something only focused on experiences. We wanted also to give something physical to our members. So we have created a dedicated cuvée, a bottle of Château Pape Clément, only a limited edition version of this bottle that we will send to all of our members who join the club.
It's awesome. I want to skip quickly on the shameless plugin on the tech stack provided by Ariane. Basically the platform to mint, the white label, the wallet to claim those collectibles and engage with Château Pape Clément. We can dive deeper at a later stage. What I'm more interested in is the key results that you found in this program.
So we have seen several key results on our brand community, brand awareness, and also on how it has been seen on wine industry. So on the brand community, we have seen that we have target some new consumers, such as crypto natives. So there are new consumers, very digital native that were maybe less familiar with wine and Grand Cru Classé industry. So that was very interesting to see an interest of this target on our projects. One very interesting key result is about how the engagement rate is very powerful by using this kind of project. Because when we can see some of the engagement rate on some traditional channels on email marketing, for example, that has some standard engagement rate on the industry, we have seen a very important engagement rate that more than 80% on our direct message. So thanks to the wallet, on the Ariane wallet, and the connection with the brand, where we can communicate to our consumers, we can see that by joining this club, they feel really connected and they really feel engaged with the brand. So we can see that on the results on the engagement rate. On the second part, in terms of brand awareness, it has been a huge success because we had a lot of request interview from a lot of media, including media dedicated to crypto, NFT, blockchain, etc., but also national media and also lifestyle media. So it was, in terms of image and brand value, it was huge. And finally, as being one of the first to launch such a project, we have been invited to a lot of webinar, conference, etc., to share this project.
That's awesome. Congratulations again. For those of you and for those of us in the audience that are thinking, okay, how that looks cool, how do I start? Do you have any piece of advice to share, Camilo?
Yes, I would say that for any project, it's of course necessary to be very clear on your objective. So as you were presenting before, we have different use cases that we can tackle with this kind of project. So really, what is your main objective? Is it to recruit new customers? Is it to engage more with your existing community? is this to retain your existing customer and communities. So the first point is to be clear on that, to be sure that the project will be launched smoothly. The second one is to be sure to address the target that can be different depending on your project. So, for example, depending on the project you are launching, you will address it to crypto natives or not. So on the Chateau Papillon side, we wanted really to create a process very smooth, where even non crypto natives will be able to buy your membership as an NFT with just a credit card without crypto. So to having something very smooth on the process, and to really to target target crypto natives, but also people that are not familiar with this kind of technology.
Yeah.
Also, you should know that on this kind of project, you maybe will try to communicate on different kinds of channels that are not the same of the traditional one. So it's important to have it in mind. And the third point is of course that there are a lot of society partners that have been launching on this kind of projects. So it's important to have reliable and serious partners to launch this kind of projects. So such as Ariane.
Thank you. So what's next for you guys?
So now that we have launched this first part of the project, because it was really a proof of concept on our side, so we have the first members of our clubs. We want to see how this club can go on a step 2. So the first part was with like a transactional NFT. Maybe we want also to expand the club on different levels of membership, depending on on other kinds of connection with the brand.
That's awesome. Camilo, thank you so much for sharing. Pierre-Adrien, also, we are limited by time, so I don't want to walk you through the whole Ariane suite of solution. Just one thing to remember is that we are a consumer engagement platform, and that we leverage digital collectibles to create this link between the brands, their consumers, and then we help the brands use this link for customer acquisition, customer service, and loyalty with different tokens, digital product passport, a membership club, or just a pure digital asset. And without further ado, well, also that's our show off slide. We work with a bunch of people and we're really cool, but wanted to most importantly share a surprise that we have for you. So this is a QR code that's going to link to proof of attendance for this session. So that's a digital collectible that you can claim. And as you click, you'll see 3 actions happening. It's going to prompt you to download the Ariane application. And then seamlessly in the background, we're going to create a wallet for you and airdrop the NFT in your wallet directly. So I'll leave that on the screen for a minute. Please claim it. And this is going to be my minute to think about if we have questions in the chat. I'll let Chris, if you want to help us guide this session, or I'm not sure if we are running out of time or not.
No, sure. We have some question. The first question is, what is the profile of the new customer? What is the number of customer who bought the NFTs? I think the question is for you, Camilo. But also generally speaking, what is the profile of new customer?
Yes. So regarding the profile of new customers, though, this was very interesting because we have seen 2 kinds of people interesting on the project, on the club. So we have some of the traditional clients that wanted really to have a first step on the Web3 and NFT ecosystem. And then we have some other more young and digital native and crypto natives that really wanted to have actually the maybe one of the first château, enfin Grand Cru Classé cuvée digitally speaking. So yes, it was like a mix of two on these customers. Some traditional people that wanted to go on this new kind of membership, and some new consumers, younger, more digital native that are more familiar with crypto. So yes, it was like a mix
Thank you. And we can take one more question, maybe.
of these customers.
Yes, other question is from Adriana. How do you sell the different tiers? Is it through different tokens, NFTs?
So I think Adriana is referring to the three tiers that we presented here. And those tiers,
How do you sell the different
so
tiers?
it's going to be up to you at the end of the day. Do you want to sell them, or do you want to, is it a proof of engagement? Are they bought? Are they earned? In the way we've presented it, they were earned because you've demonstrated engagement, because you've purchased multiple times, maybe in quantity, and that would help you go up the tier ladder, so to speak, and start to gain access to those premium experiences, those exclusive experiences. And it's not necessarily something you buy or and therefore sell. Um, so I'm not sure if I'm either Pierre Adrien, do you have anything to add, or if I'm answering your question, Adriana?
No, really, I think, Michael, you're spot on. You can really design this loyalty program the way you want. And I mean, this is actually something that you can make evolving over time. So if you want to address the first tier, and as you know, Chateau Pape Clément with Camilo, I think this is very exciting example. You then really digitalize the membership, and you start with your most loyal consumers, and then you expand. I think this is really fascinating, actually, and you can actually upsell and bring your consumers up the ladder, as you just said, Michael, which is, I think, really the most exciting part of it. And then you expand. I think this is really
Awesome.
you can actually upsell.
No, go ahead, Chris.
I think we had just a last question because I think it would make sense. What are some of the limitations to reach customer? Like, what are the challenges regarding this strategy?
Awesome. No, go ahead, Chris.
I think we had
So some of the challenges that Camilo you touched on is knowing what's your objective. This is a strategy to achieve a goal. What's the goal? If you don't know the goal, the strategy won't work. Another challenge that you mentioned also is so in the case of the Chateau Pape Clément NFT Club, what's the method of payment? Is it crypto? Is it fiat? Is it both? Knowing that, I think it's a key challenge. And then for reaching consumers, I don't think. I mean, this is an additional. I think we mentioned that, but it's an additional tool in your marketing toolbox, and it's not going to replace all your channels and all your communication. So treat it as such. Treat it as a pilot, as a test, and have fun with it. Experience. Camilo, I'll let you add to it if you'd like.
No, you said nothing to add from my side.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this concludes our webinar session. Thank you for all the attendees. Thank you so much, Pierre Adrien. Thank you so much, Camilo. And yeah, we'll be back soon with more content on the wine and spirits.
It was a pleasure.